The topics we discuss are many.
No story too bold to talk about.
Strictly our own opinions.
But they are opinions from people like you.
Welcome to the NAKE'd Podcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Naked Podcast. Excuse everyone else for their basic one-liner, but that's your DM tech guy, Alan.
Yo, fam.
Oh, we're fixing to finesse y'all with this episode. Dope.
Are we hip yet?
Wait. We need Keelan.
High key, we are the best around.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Naked Podcast, guys.
We were just doing a little Gen Z outreach today. We hope that it worked.
And collectively, Gen Z moaned. Ugh, Dad, you're so embarrassing.
Dad, stop embarrassing me in front of my cool gang.
Wow, yeah. Wait, no.
Don't be extra.
Is your son Gen Z or is he part of Alpha?
He's part of Alpha.
Yeah.
Gen
That's
Z?
the next one. Yeah, that's after Gen Z is Alpha.
I
Yeah.
thought there wasn't another generation until like 20. Oh.
I don't know. This is all like came to knowledge of me this week.
I didn't know there was another generation after.
Yeah, because when I was researching for the Baker girl, that came up that like 6 and under is right now is their Alpha.
Oh, and technically he'll be Gen Z. Like
I don't know when the cutoff is.
We don't know what the cutoff is yet. Like they're just starting to speculate as to what the new generation's gonna be.
I just googled it. Gen Z, 1995 to 2012.
Oh, Edos is deaf. Oh wait, he's just after. He was born in 2013.
So yeah, he's out. Or he's like Alpha.
Yeah,
He's a double Alpha.
Yeah.
I'm the original OG Alpha. All these younger Alphas out here, they're betas.
Oh, you basic bitches.
So he is like, because we're all 90s babies, so when we hear like a 1999 person, like, I was born in the 90s, shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah,
Liar.
you lasted 2 seconds in the
Yeah,
90s.
right.
You weren't with us drinking some...
MD 2020.
Not in the 90s.
You weren't with us
what,
drinking that monster.
No,
Zimas.
when I accidentally sneaked one of my mom's Zimas. I
You
thought it
didn't
was
have Lisa
apple
Frank
juice.
everything.
Yes, Lisa Frank, everything. Ooh, inflatable furniture. I had an inflatable chair. Hell yeah.
I had
I had a
inflatable
monkey.
furniture like when I bought a house.
Hey, I remember sitting in that inflatable chair.
Until Margot popped it.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, he sat on it with it. Like, because always had his keys on his hip.
Yeah.
And he sat on his keys and it like his bottle opener went in.
Ah.
That's what killed the couch. The chair's still, I guess, functional. But
My
hey,
couch is better.
yeah, it went from inflatable furniture to IKEA couch to a hand-me-down couch. I like that's a natural
Word.
progression.
You know what? I have a hand-me-down couch. My couches are hand-me-down.
We were looking at some new couches, and I was like, I've never bought like a new couch myself before. Like, this is a step up in adulting.
I feel like when you go for a really fancy couch, it's just not as comfortable as my little
it's brand
IKEA
new.
couch. But no, like even my little IKEA couch, I'm more comfortable on than the big couch we have.
Because that one's broken down.
No, it's not even that old.
So I sat in a whole bunch of IKEA couches this past weekend. I still love my couch.
There was this one, and of course it was the most expensive one, and I liked it. It was deep. Like, you can like sit in it, but like lean back a lot and like cuddle up, and like your feet still be on the couch.
So nice.
And like you can spread out. I was like, oh, it's actually pretty comfy.
It was like a full-size bed.
Nice.
No, it was more like a twin.
I can't get into couches that you can fall asleep on. Because, like, I already fall asleep on the couch. If I was more comfortable on the couch,
Oh.
like, yeah.
Oh, you've no idea how many times I've fallen
Yeah.
asleep on my couch.
like y'all's couch, I'd probably fall asleep every single night on the couch.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's like Netflix, should sponsor a series of couches because we be falling asleep watching some Netflix.
This is why we don't watch Netflix in the living room anymore, because I pass the fuck out.
See, that's my main problem with Hulu, right? Hulu needs to get better about their episode, like, check-in.
Yeah.
Because if we fall asleep to Hulu, you miss a whole season. Get on that Hulu.
Yeah, they really do need to be better about it.
Disney, I know you own them.
So what have you guys been watching lately on Netflix?
A lot of documentaries, like, back to back. We watched Broken, which I loved, that one. And we watched the Aaron Hernandez. That was a good one.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It was super interesting to hear how he had everything going for him, and he just made stupid decisions, and then he ended up in jail. It's like, yeah, I saw some of this coming, but it was real interesting to see how in depth they went. Like, they explained a lot of the little details.
So he was probably at his peak in life. He had just gotten a major signing deal.
Yeah, he was 23 when he died.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
He got a major signing deal, and then what happened?
So he ended up killing his wife or girlfriend.
No, so
Brother-in-law, I thought.
yeah, he attempted.
It was his wife's sister's husband.
Well, so the first killings, though, they never said who they were. Those are random people. The people he met at the club, they go into his first time killing somebody. Was he got into it with somebody at a club. They left the club. He went to his car. They followed them, and while they were at a stoplight, he rolled up next to him, killed both of them in the car, and then left.
Holy fuck.
And it went unsolved for
They
months.
were able to trace the vehicle to the state line, but after that they lost it. It turns out he was hiding it in his cousin's garage.
Oh, my God.
His cousin was sick. She had cancer, but they were like ride or die for each other.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of a little. Seemed
It
a
was
little weird.
a little on the creepy side.
Yeah.
So, and this had probably happened 2 or 3 years before his next murder.
He was just never caught.
Yeah, because he was already like a public figure at this point. People recognized him as a football player.
Fast forward, he's hanging out with his wife's brother-in-law, his wife's brother-in-law, and evidently he was like a minor league football player, and they got into it. So at like midnight, he told him get in the car. He took him to a field, made him get on his knees, and blew his brains out.
It was like near his house, too. It was pretty
Yeah,
close,
it was.
right?
Yeah, it was within 10 miles of his house.
And so like the cops were like, oh, he's the obvious suspect, but at the same time, let's not make him the obvious suspect.
Yeah,
and
like
it
you
took
would-
a while for them to really connect it to him.
So one of the a star tight end
Football.
on a Super Bowl team, why would he murder somebody? You know, like it wouldn't make sense. But
Just the fact that there was a connection between them.
he wanted so bad to be a gangster. Like he wanted so bad to be Tupac. You know?
Do you think it had anything to do with his football injuries in his head?
His CTE.
Yes.
Yeah. So he has one of the worst reported cases of CTE ever examined.
And what is CTE?
CTE is like
The-
the moving of the brain and how.
What does
like,
it stand for?
I don't remember what it stands for, but it's from getting too many concussions, so your frontal lobe becomes more scar tissue than anything, and then so you're not able to reason and you're not able to process things properly.
So he was basically concussed into being a sociopath.
Yeah, pretty much.
They said that when he first arrived to the prison, he was on the phone and they actually played a lot of the conversations. And he was like, oh, I'm just working out. I'm just getting fit. I'll be out of here any day now. Like, he just took it in stride. He didn't freak out. He wasn't like, oh, no, I'm in jail. He was just like, all right, cool. I get free meals and get to work out all day. He would ask for his wife for Harry Potter books.
Yeah, and then as soon as he was convicted, it was just like it snapped a switch, and he thought he found, like, they alluded to that he did it where he did it or where he was stationed. They had a law that if you die before your sentence is or if you die before your case is processed through court, you're innocent. If he was innocent through this crime, the Patriots would have had to pay out his contract to his wife.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
So one of the leading theories is that he killed himself so that he would be innocent and his wife would get paid out. Like he alluded to that in his letters and in the conversations talking.
They'll be taken care of. They'll be taken care of.
Yeah, like he's like, you're going to be taken care of. Like
The other really big theory about why he did it was, and this was brought up a lot in the Netflix documentary, was his sexuality. There's a guy from his old football team, I think it was the quarterback, who was like, yeah, we used to, jerk each other off. We were sexual buddies and like all this other stuff. And there was a couple of other people who came forward and was like, oh yeah, I've slept with Aaron Hernandez. But what had happened was this talk show host had found out about it and she went on national air and she told everybody, oh, Aaron Hernandez is gay.
It was Wendy Williams, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I believe so.
And 2 days later, he committed his act.
Yeah, he was a bisexual who really hated his gay side. So
It's probably how he was raised.
Yeah.
yeah, no, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. And CTE stands for Chronic Traumatic Encephalopathy. That was a really tough word to say.
Kudos
Glad
to
you said it, not me. I would have butchered that 10 different ways.
I remember first hearing about it when they started like describing it. I was watching like some TV show about it or some documentary like 2 years ago, and that was the first time I'd ever heard of it. And like they discussed in detail as to the way a football player's brain works, like in high school when they're still young, but they're taking all this like all these hits to the head as to when they graduate college or when they finish their career with the NFL, their IQ drops dramatically.
You played a lot of sports in school.
I did a year of football, and it wasn't for me. I didn't like that. Yeah, like you hit your head a lot, and I mean, I wrestled over playing football.
At least with wrestling, it's more controlled. You're not taking multiple hits after hits after hits.
Oh, you feel, trust me, you feel it after a while.
Yeah.
And it's not a 180-pound,
Yeah.
person barreling at you with 100 pounds of gear on them.
Yeah.
No, it's your full body weight on your head. Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, it hurt.
I remember trying out for football when I was in elementary. The coach was like, "Yeah, this kid's not for us." I'm glad.
In the documentary, they talk about one of the all-time famous football players. He committed suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And when he did it, though, he decided to shoot himself in the heart instead of the head. So he left this in his letter. He's like, I'm shooting myself in the chest, and I want my brain studied for CTE. I want to be, like, I'm donating my body, more or less.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
How old was he?
I forgot his name, but he was he's a Hall of Famer football player.
Oh, okay.
So he played through the 80s and stuff,
Oh, shit.
And I bet they uncovered a lot of things because they weren't as protective back then.
He was one of the leading research cases of CTE.
Wow.
Because of that, they were able to actually know what Aaron Hernandez had and kind of. But
I know that football players already don't recommend like football for their own kids.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know many football players their kids don't play.
Yeah.
They don't regret it, but they don't want their kids to play. That's why you should play baseball, the American pastime.
Yeah.
Woo woo.
Woohoo, America.
5, almost 10 years ago, all of this happening. I'm just like, where was I?
It was quite. So that's one of the things that really bad about the American media lately, is it's such a tailored narrative. They don't report the news. It's like, just tell me, I want to know about whatever is going on with him.
Yeah,
But there's so much going on.
there is a lot going on. Alan actually just uncovered a truth about where he grew up by watching a show called Broken on Netflix about the recycling sham.
So Laredo, about 2 years after I left, they enacted a plastic ban, like a plastic bags ban, only because the catchphrase within Laredo was "wait till the fall when the plastic bags fall off of the trees." It was that bad. Mexicans and Americans were coming into the downtown section, which is right along the border, and they're just buying, and everyone was providing plastic bag after plastic bag. As a matter of fact, the Rio Grande River, just right there, that was our main water source, and to this day is still rumored to be toxic. Only because of all the trash that went into it. When they enacted the plastic ban, Laredo wasn't the first place. There was another, I think it was Brownsville that did it first.
Yeah, well, from, I guess, watching the documentary Broken, they did, Laredo was the first to introduce it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then a bunch of other people beat them to it.
Brownsville and then Austin.
And they had to fight for it too, because the city was adamantly against it, and they ended up having to go to Austin to plead their case. And all of a sudden, these plastic bag lawyers are coming in,
Lobbyists.
and
Lobbyists, yeah.
and they find the law that in Texas you can't restrict plastic containers.
Which I think is complete bullshit. It's a plastic bag.
Yeah, exactly. So they need to rewrite that law. But like
Yeah.
I understand why the law's there. You know, it kind of like more or less everything's a 12-ounce cup. It just regulates and makes it a little easier, streamlining for restaurants and whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like they need to relight that. Like plastic bags and things that should be recycled properly, we need to start focusing and figuring out what we need to do to get that process better.
And the key word there is properly. There's so much that we recycle that's actually not even recycled or used. It just gets thrown away.
Yeah.
And their only reason was, well, there's not a market for it.
And it's all started back in like the 70s because all of the major companies that use plastic wanted to inflate whatever their sales were.
So like Coca-Cola.
So
And Pepsi.
my big like pet peeve with that documentary is I enjoyed it, but I didn't like the angle they were coming at. They were
And here's where we disagree.
they
Oh.
were coming in at, I don't know, like recycling's bad.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they really threw it at that, and
Recycling doesn't actually do anything.
yeah, recycling doesn't do anything, so why do we do it? But I'm like, well, even if we get 10%, or what was it,
That's-
9%?
That's still 9% less in our landfills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like
Like-
I don't see it as a bad thing. I just don't. I think nobody does it properly, and we need to start, investing into it and paying attention to that.
Here's the point I thought you were going to bring up. So where we disagree is he thinks it's on the consumer
It
to
is.
change their spending habits, which it is.
Yeah.
But I think it's also on the producer. Like the producers of plastics need to figure out a better way.
But
No.
they're not going to.
So-
They never
They make way
are.
too much money.
And
And
I-
that's shown by the lawyers and how much of a spotlight the Laredo case was.
So
Yeah.
this is where nowadays that I think a lot of people have a lot of issues with, where economics versus morality, right?
Mhm.
Like morally, yeah, they should be better people, but they're not.
Yeah.
So how do we respond? We come at them with economical resources. Like if we go for a trip, we take our reusable cups and we fill it up at the gas station.
Right.
You don't have to get the plastic cup at the gas station. You can have your own cup. Like there's nothing against it.
Don't make the choice of convenience.
Yes.
Make the choice that will actually impact and count.
Get the
Yeah.
bamboo straws. Buy the metal straws. I used to have plastic straws. I used to have plastic cups every day. I'd go to
And
Sonic.
we bought you stainless steel straws, and they work great.
Love them.
Like you think about in the last year, 2 years, the changes we have made, how many plastic containers that we actually use a day. We don't even fill up our recycling bin anymore. We usually wait a week. It usually takes us 2 weeks to fill it up enough for them to take it.
And we've been more conscious about, I've been more conscious because Henderson didn't have recycling. So moving to San Antonio, that was a big shock for me. But the fact that, I only lived with my aunt and uncle for a year, and then we moved into an apartment. And the apartment complex really didn't have recycling options. So I
Neither
didn't think
did
about it until we moved in together. And he's like, hey, I actually care about the environment. Can you start doing this?
Well, Alan, when we moved in together, he didn't know that you had to wash out the containers. I'm like, you have to, or you're not going to recycle it.
Yeah.
And that's because like my apartment complex is never recycled. They had the big trash can and a little recycling bin.
I think there's a little bit on the companies to provide a sustainable option, but also on the consumer to be more, I guess, eco-conscious themselves.
So the way I see it is the plastic companies are going to go with the most eco-friendly option, because eco-friendly doesn't just mean good for the environment. It's also good for their pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's going to, if they can save money in this and not use as much plastic. So, if you notice, bags get super thin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, technically they're using less plastic, right? So they're doing
But now
their
you
part
need to-
more or less.
Now you need to double bag that bag because it's gonna
I
tear.
mean, yeah.
Exactly. Well,
So you go use your reusable bags that you can buy for $1 at H-E-B.
Well, and the consumer has always had the choice of paper or plastic. But I guess it was probably around the 80s when plastic really came into our shopping experiences and we switched from that. But you also look at, shopping today, Amazon, they play a huge part in a lot of the plastics that go out around the world. And there's actually even a petition right now on change.com to have them have a plastic-free shipping option.
And Jeff Bezos just announced a $10 billion amount to fight climate change when he has
Paris
promises.
Agreement. Yeah, to the Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement's a scam. Like, that's just him avoiding taxes.
Well, that's what Coke and all the other companies do. Like, they donate to some
But
little thing.
No,
and that's
honestly,
it.
if you look at the world view, right? China and India, they're the ones producing, but you want, so you have China and India outproducing everybody else combined, but we're gonna mess with that little group. You know what I mean? Like that's the issue with the Paris Agreement.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But going back to plastic, so the recycling portion, when you said there's just not a market for some items that are recycled, these items are being recycled or compacted into little pallets, and they're being exported into other countries like poor villages who
Malaysia.
Malaysia that has to deal with the trash. And not only that, it smells bad, it looks bad, it contaminates their water source, it contaminates how they eat their food. I mean, people are getting sick from it.
So you have they were talking about the 7 different categories of plastic. They can only do 1, 2, and 5 at the moment.
Yeah.
Like that's all they do. So the rest of it just gets piled up in Malaysia.
Well, now that China has, put in place their plastic import ban, it's been 2-3 years, and they're already able to see the sun again. They're seeing clear sky.
Oh, wait. It's been about 10 years because
Okay,
it was
my
for
bad.
the Beijing Olympics.
Yeah.
When they started it.
Thailand just recently plastic bagless.
So like Malaysia, what they were talking about, that they want to ban all importing plastic, and I'm down. Like I think every country should do that. Like if you use the plastic, you process it and you recycle it.
Yeah.
It's on you.
I feel bad for Malaysia only because everyone's plastic goes there, and there's only a few legitimate companies that could properly process it. Everyone else is just doing it to make a quick buck.
They're burning it. They're starting the air pollution, and thankfully, its citizens are fighting back, and
Yeah.
they're just starting to get the government to hear them. Thank God.
Yeah, but the only way I see us affecting any real change to it is we got to get the word out to better the processes, and then we have to do everything we can to not use plastic.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? I don't know if you guys remember, like a few years ago, it's like maybe a decade or more, when there were just talks about electric cars finally starting to be developed, but they were taking so long. That was the oil industry trying to control exactly what was going on. And then someone like Elon Musk just comes out and is like, you know what? I care about the environment.
Yeah, but
Fuck all y'all.
it took
Electric car.
years of development, years of technology.
He had nothing else to waste his money on.
Yeah.
So I think like when you frame, like, I don't like to make companies to be out villains, but there are some shady practices out there.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also like, where's the science at? Like, are we investing time in our sciences or investing money in our scientists to create these eco-friendly alternatives?
So like you look at Ford.
Yeah.
How many people do they employ? So them switching over to all electric vehicles would have probably cut their staff in half. You know what I mean?
Not if they get like the people that are already working there on the manufacturing to understand how to put all that together.
But if you put the parts it takes to make an electric car compared to the parts it takes, you got to remember how like Ford factory line was originally set up. You did one job for one part. So if you cut the parts you need, because you don't need to put a motor, transmission, you have an electric motor, it does it all, right?
Yeah.
So you're looking at cutting your staff in half.
Well, I think that also goes into adapting.
But I see that's why I would see them doing it slowly. Why they want to try to control it and slow it, because you want people to have time to adapt and move it, not everything all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also electric cars were not there 10 years ago.
Yeah, no, they weren't.
Well, I mean,
I'll admit to that.
when they started having the Prius be electric and gas, I mean,
2009, I think. 2008.
I think 2006. I think was the early or
The
2005.
hybrids were big.
I remember it got really big then.
The hybrids led the way, and I think that showed a lot of what it could do. Because I know the Volt, like Chevy has the Volt, they're pretty cool. Nissan has the Leaf, it's okay, but I mean nothing is like getting into a Tesla. It's a fucking spaceship. You know what I mean?
I want a Tesla.
Yeah.
So nice.
I remember the first time I got in a hybrid, it was a Prius. It was my theater teacher's car. We were headed off to somewhere. And we stopped at the stoplight in front of the school. And, her car shut off. And I freaked out. I was like, oh, no, is your car okay? She's like, yeah, it does that.
I started noticing. So
Wait, why did it turn off?
It does that. It's a gas to save gas.
Yeah,
It doesn't idle.
So you have to like restart it?
No.
It's
Oh.
all,
It
as
just
soon as you hit the
automatically-
pedal. Yeah.
It's called engine stop. So
Ford does it now too.
Yeah, in some cars, when you come to a complete stop and your foot's on the brake, it just turns off. But all the electronics keep running, and then when you lift your foot off the brake, it turns back on.
That's smart.
I've been driving
So
with my
it
windows
affects just
down.
the motor. Yeah, no,
to
I
not
totally
have my
freaked.
timer.
That's really cool. I didn't know that. Apparently, I haven't been in any hybrid or electric cars.
And
I
then,
drive a foreign car.
It's not even on like hybrid cars
F250.
anymore.
I think like this watching Broken had really put things in perspective for us and how we want to contribute more, because we try to be pretty conscious of what we recycle, but just our constant waste is the problem. So our trash is abundant, and even though most of it goes to recycling, what can we do to reduce that? And like you were saying, Ethan, it's really on us to start making those choices and increasing that demand for those choices to be there.
So
exactly.
like we have the smallest trash can they offer for the city. So we pay like $20 less a month for trash.
3.
Oh, okay. Pay $3 less a month for trash. And then our recycling, we're barely ever filling it up. So I don't know. I've just noticed that it's getting to that point now where even like we're trying not to use trash. And that's one of the reasons I don't order from Amazon. I started doing the Amazon Day. So Thursday is our Amazon Day now.
Yeah, I need
didn't
to
know
do that too. I think I'm going to start doing that, just setting the Amazon Day instead of as soon as possible, unless if it's like absolutely emergent.
Yeah, because then they minimize the packaging.
Oh, yeah, no, I've seen that. You can have it here by Tuesday, or you can have it by Wednesday
And you get a
with minimal.
$1 digital reward.
But then half the time it comes in separate packages anyway, or how it was all supposed to come together. Something still comes a day later. So they haven't fully worked out the kinks on that.
Yeah, but if you don't use it, then they won't be able to work out the kinks.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I think too is like your feedback has to be valuable to an extent. So like is there like a survey or like a review that you do about packaging? Does Amazon offer those opportunities?
No, you just make memes online.
And lightly
Hey,
bully them.
have y'all ever seen those memes? Like it's a big thing. You always see in the collective of like how FedEx versus UPS versus Amazon treat your packages.
I'm putting your pajamas on you. But yeah,
No.
Amazon is approaching things from a really scary level. I saw today that they are using a personal shopper service. So just like Stitch Fix is such a big subscription box now, Amazon's kind of edging into that market of sending people, doing like a quiz, sending people clothes, and then they send back whatever they don't want to keep.
I've been thinking about trying.
I mean,
Stitch
don't you know what Amazon's original domain was?
What?
Ruthlessamazon.com.
What?
Fix. What is that?
It was like what Jeff Bezos originally
Ruthless Amazon?
Yeah, because
Interesting.
he wanted to be vertically integrated in every market.
Well, he's succeeded in that plan.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, fucker owns Whole Foods now.
Yeah, I stopped after Amazon bought him out. I stopped going to Whole Foods.
I never went to Whole
I
Foods.
hate the pretentiousness of Whole Foods.
Ugh.
Yeah, but
I walked
the
in one-
accessibility to certain items was nice.
I walked into one and I immediately wanted some like stupid, outrageous tea.
There was a story I found of this during the holidays. They are asking like, "Oh, can you donate some canned foods?" And the customer was saying, "No, like, you literally have millions of dollars, whereas I make $23,000 a year. You donate some. Like, what's to stop me from going to grab a armful of cans and dumping it in your donation bin? Are you really gonna rifle through the bin to pick out those cans?"
Damn, that's a good
And I was
point.
like, God damn.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
they
someone's a
deserve it.
Grinch.
You get what you fucking deserve.
It's true.
It was interesting.
Is he a Joker fan? I feel like it.
Probably. Probably. Well, make sure that you recycle and reuse what you can.
Reduce, reuse, recycle, please.
Make sure to rinse out all your plastic containers and don't flatten the aluminum cans.
So when you take your to-go cup, you take the lid off separately. You wash it off. You throw it in your recycling. You throw the straw in, and then you wash the cup out. You throw it in separately, all separated.
What's up, guys? www.officialmillennials.com. Norma worked really hard on it.
It looks amazeballs.
Let me know what you think on Twitter at @NM_the_NAKE'd_pod or our main handle at OG_NAKE'd_pod.
You can always add Alan with all comments and complaints.
Please
Maybe
do.
complaints.
I will gladly ignore all of them at AT_the_NAKEDPod. Don't at me. Also, you can find all of our social media stuff on our website.
Whoop whoop.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Peace out, suckers.
Later.
This is an official Millennials production.